Hello and welcome to my kitchen today, everybody. Would love to know if you are watching. Just comment in the comments box and where you're watching from. And if you've got any questions as I go through the little demonstration today, then feel free to ask me a question and I'll see if I can answer it. I promise I won't fib to anybody. Today I'm going to be making fresh marzipan. Now before you switch off, because I know a lot of people don't particularly like marzipan, but over the years I've converted a lot of people to actually going, oh, actually that marzipan's quite nice. If you do not put in that sort of fake marzipan essence, and I think that's the thing that people don't like. So today the marzipan that I'm making doesn't have anything fake in it, and we rely on the flavour of the ground almonds to make the marzipan taste almondy. So it's a very simple recipe. You can see it's only really got, it's got 4 ingredients plus a bit of vanilla extract, if you can call that, or this one's paste, an ingredient. But first, just before I start, I just want to tell everyone that I've got a very, very special guest in my kitchen today. My sister is here from England. So meet Amanda, everyone.
Hey,
and she's going to be, there she is, she's going to be sitting there and maybe asking me questions as well. It's a bit scary, isn't it? So we will go straight ahead and make this beautiful marzipan. I have actually made a marzipan cake earlier this morning, a fresh cherry and marzipan cake, just to show you what else you can do with marzipan, but we also have some ideas for those as we go through. The recipe is on our website right now, so you can go and have a look at that too. So we'll start off with 1 egg, an extra large egg. We've got a beautiful pasture raised egg, and you can see that the egg yolk is a really beautiful, beautiful colour. I've got some Hey Lala vanilla paste. Love this stuff, and it's actually from New Zealand, but the vanilla is not grown in New Zealand, but it's actually a New Zealand based company with a lovely story. If you don't know the Hey Lala story, go and take a look at it on their website, because it makes the vanilla taste a lot better. It's just really nice, actually smells gorgeous. And today I'm just going to use my Dream Farm Flisk, which stands for Fold Up Whisk, and I think I've shown you this before in another video, but you just can make from a round whisk like that, where you whisk in air, to a flat whisk, which is just super efficient for something like this, or for they say for deglazing pans as well when you're making a sauce. So I'm just going to mix in the vanilla into the egg. And I must admit, when I wrote the recipe, I had the vanilla going in towards the end, but I realised that it would probably be better to put the vanilla in to the egg, because they're both fairly runny. So I can't remember what the weight is, but I weighed, because I weighed this up earlier this morning. So this is the almond, ground almonds, almond flour, almond meal, same. It's just blitzed up almonds. So that goes in, lovely fresh almond meal. And I've got 2 different types of sugars. And one is the icing sugar. You can use an icing mixture if you want, but just be aware that the icing mixture does have, can have corn flour in it as well. And if the corn flour is not gluten-free, not good for people with a gluten intolerance. But this one is pure icing, or you can use the icing mixture, as I said. I don't even bother sieving that either, because it doesn't really need it, and some caster sugar, because the caster sugar will give it a lovely crunch as well. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to use that at all. That was just, I'm just going to get one of my spoons, because we're just going to mix this mixture in. So I was talking to Amanda earlier on, and we were saying how when we were kids, we remember, I guess, growing up in a sort of a Europeanish household, we did have marzipan on our Christmas cake every year. I think Mum made it, didn't she, our Christmas cake? Yes. Definitely made the Christmas cake. She would have bought the marzipan, though, because I think it was in those days where it was quite trendy to buy stuff like that.
Bright yellow.
Bright yellow? Yes. Was it? Okay, yeah, so they would have put colouring in to make it look like the egg yolk in the eggs. And when we were kids also, Mum and Dad used to go up to London quite often around Christmas time and bring us back for London. They used to go out like for jollies, didn't they, with Dad's work, I think. And they used to come back with these beautiful marzipan fruits. So that's really what I remember about marzipan, and I remember it really quite fondly. Some people don't remember it fondly, or they've only had the very sad experience of eating it with the vanilla extract, with the almond essence in it, which is just like fake almond stuff. So I'm just going to sort of press this together and knead this together. You don't want to put any more liquid in here. 1 extra large egg will do the trick. And I'm not kneading it to, you know, activate the gluten, which is the main thing that I talk about when I'm kneading anything, because it's all about bread usually, or pasta, working with flour. But this does not have any flour in it, but it makes, you can see it's just come together nicely now. So I tend to just give it a little bit of a going over on the bench like this. You can do this in a mixer if you want, but I actually quite like the feeling of this and understanding what happens to the marzipan. So there we go. Just made marzipan, and it's like so easy. It may look a lot, and that's because I've used 1 egg. So if you're clever enough to make it with want to make half the recipe, then you can cut your egg in half if you're clever. Now, if you want to do that, obviously, you whisk your egg, you weigh it, and you whisk it, and you take out half of it, and then you can make half that amount. But this morning when I did make some, because I wanted to make this marzipan cake, I just had to go like this when I'd made it, because I can't not eat it. It's so delicious. Whether you can hear, but it's got this lovely, lovely crunch. So I'm going to cut some of this cake, and I'm going to ask Amanda. I wrote down a few different ideas of what am I asking you, or are you telling me?
I can tell you. So
that would be great. She's reading it, everyone.
I'm not going to read it. I'll read some of it.
See if you can remember.
So
no, you know
on
some.
your Christmas cake as the layer over the cake beneath the icing.
Yep.
And you detach it with apricot jam that's been sieved and warmed.
Yep. She's a great baker.
Then you could use it as a Battenberg cake, so the pink and the yellow square cake.
Cameraman's asleep. Yep.
Over the top.
Oh, has anyone ever made that Battenberg cake?
Battenberg. It's a bit fiddly, but it's well worth it.
Have you ever made it?
I've made it once.
Have you? Pink and
yellow. Yeah, but it doesn't come out quite so bright because I don't put so much
colouring in it. Yeah.
I'm not keen on it. Stollen, which is a German Christmas cake, and it's a fruited bread cake, and enriched dough, and you put the marzipan in the middle. That's really good. I love that. I make one every Christmas because it's my favourite.
And I'm going to be putting up a recipe on the Cooks Collective for that one as well.
Yeah, that's a good one to make. Yep. It's fairly easy. Filled pitted bejeweled dates with a teaspoon or so of marzipan, and served topped with zest of an orange or toasted almonds for an after dinner treat, perhaps with your coffee. Oh,
bejeweled dates are such a lovely, lovely thing to do. And if it's really hot, you could also freeze that. Like you could freeze the bejeweled dates, cut them, put the marzipan in, freeze the bejeweled dates, and then you could have it as a. Oh, it's going all over the place. You can have it as a really lovely, like, cool after dinner treat, and just a little grating of orange rind on top of that would be lovely. Or I also thought this morning as I woke up, some slivered almonds, just slightly toasted slivered almonds on the top, so you get a bit of a crunch with that as well.
That would be good too.
Amanda.
You could include them in a crumble topping and put them, or put marble-sized pieces in a fruit crumble, or you can top mince pies with it. I've just made some at home actually, some tiny little ones called Scandi pies, and you can grate some of the marzipan on top there as well, because it makes it delicious. It's absolutely delicious. And if you've got time on your hands and you're feeling terribly artistic, then marzipan fruits, but you need to Google a few pictures and just copy those. You can, instead of colouring the whole marzipan, you can actually paint them, which I've done once or twice.
Just knocked my thing off.
Buy chocolate coated nuts and cover them in a layer of marzipan and dip them into melted chocolate. And you can add little cubes of marzipan to muffin batter. You can add it to cakes, as you've done.
Yeah. So back to, is that it?
Yes,
Fantastic. Back to me, Miss Cameron. Fantastic. So I've just cut into this cake. Now, the cake recipe that I used, I'd sort of made up. So I was a bit concerned because we had to go out and have a day of excitement with sisters, which we've done, which was fabulous. But I had to take this cake out of the oven just slightly before it was cooked. But look, I think it's going to be absolutely delicious with fresh cherries in it and little bits of marzipan. Are you going to zoom in from the other side? Can you see that? So we got the beautiful fresh cherries from the Southern Forest and little bits of marzipan. This bit's a little bit uncooked because it's in the centre, but do you know what? I think it's going to be absolutely delicious like that. We could call it the marzipan lava cake, couldn't we?
Yeah, you could serve it as a dessert.
Yeah, absolutely. So that would definitely be suitable for a dessert type cake, or you can just serve it as an afternoon tea cake if you want to. But we will have a little try of that, and I'm sure it'll be absolutely delicious. But very, very easy to make. It's a yogurt-based cake. It's like wet ingredients, dry ingredients, mix them together, put it in the tin, bake it in the oven for 45 minutes. Job done. So it's one of those really lovely cakes. And I just thought I'd show you my cake stand, which I don't actually have a cake stand, but if I want to make my cake look a little bit more posher, then fancy, then I turn upside down a bowl and I put a plate on top, and it looks like I've got a cake stand, doesn't it?
That's very clever. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Well, yeah, up there for thinking, down there for dancing. You know what they say. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and hope that has encouraged you to try some marzipan. As I said, do go and have a look online, and the marzipan recipe is up there, and definitely for Cooks Collective members, they will get the Stollen recipe as well, the beautiful German Christmas cake, and I'll be popping this cake up on the Cooks Collective as well. So if you're not a member, now may be the time, because there's loads of brilliant ideas for Christmas on there. That's where I keep all my recipes, $49 a year. It's a bargain. Loads of videos too. So have a great week. We were talking about, weren't we, doing mince pies earlier on?
Yes.
And Amanda, you know, we were talking about putting marzipan in the crumble on top of mince pies if you want to, which is absolutely delicious. But then I'm going to make my own fresh fruit mince. So that's next week. So you can tune in next week at 5 o'clock on Facebook or YouTube, or you can catch up from the newsletter or go to the website at any time after next Wednesday and find that recipe too. So hope that helps, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.